Hello, my name's Adam, this is UK Theme Parks and welcome to this week's Attraction 15 show. Now then, we are in the height of Halloween and I do really hope you're enjoying our coverage of it. We've been to some great scare attractions already and I'm sure we've got more to come this week before the theme parks and everything come to a close at the end of October. It's hard to believe actually we're this far through the 2017 season. And it's nearly over, What next? Well, as we know, there are a couple of theme parks open for Christmas. That includes kind of Brighton Pier and Portons Park with a Christmas event going on at Chessington. And we also have Winter Wonderland to look forward to as well, who've been releasing ride lineups over the last sort of couple of weeks, but we'll go on to those in a future episode just before Winter Wonderland's about to open. So, this week, we're going to be looking at Cleethorpes, we're going to be looking at M&D's, we're going to be... Oh, what else are we going to be looking at? We're going to be looking at the Mystic East again. Yes, Chessington again. We're going to be looking at the Mystic East and other things coming from Chessington as well. So, let's start then with Cleethorpes. Now, as you may remember, the Pleasureland shut at the end of the 2016 season, citing low visitor numbers, which was obvious, and apparent bad weather. Now, weather aside, you know, weather can have a massive impact on businesses. You know, they are right next to a holiday park. They are in quite a good tourist destination. It was probably more choice of attractions that were there, maybe lack of theme. Who knows? Who knows the exact reasons? But, you know, we were never compelled enough to go there by the ride sets that were there. And we actually stayed in that holiday village as well. There just wasn't enough there. When we went, there were a lot of big thrill rides, but there was nothing for my 6-year-old. Now, they did change that as time went on, introducing the farm and everything, but for us, it was too late. It was a bit far out in the open. We would have only have gone there because we were staying in Fort Park, which coincidentally is the name of the holiday village right next to it. So we never actually went to the park. We saw it from the outside. We've seen some of the rides. We know a lot of the rides have kind of left the country. And some of it's still there. You know, when we saw drone footage a few months ago, the sea lions were still at the park. Now, I don't actually know what's happening to the park. However, there is a documentary coming up on Channel 4 very shortly called Abandoned Playgrounds. And Cleethorpes, Pleasure Island, is going to feature on one of those episodes. So, the 6-part series which Channel 4 are putting out are going to be having a look at various different locations across the UK. As far as I'm aware, it's UK based, with Cleethorpes being one of them. And they're going to be looking at the history of the location and asking residents to share their memories about the attraction itself. So we don't exactly have time when that's going to be coming on, but it is going to be coming on shortly and it's going to be worth a watch. You know, we've seen some footage from Camelot. We've seen some drones go over. We've shared with you in one of our first episodes of Channel 4's drone that kind of again went over there and really showed us the attraction and how it looks now. Completely derelict. You know, this place didn't shut that long ago and it's just amazing how run down it gets. Yes, vandals get in there. Yes, vandals do terrorise some of it. But, you know, some of it is just shockingly how a theme park was actually left, some of the buildings and bits and pieces. So this will be really interesting to see how this has been kept up. You know, it's a much probably more prominent location to not be broken into, shall we say, and it has had people going in there to feed sea lions. So it will be really interesting to see what's left at the park when that comes on. And as soon as we know it's going to come on, we'll share it on our Facebook page and we will of course share it with you on the Attractions 15 episode. Right, just a quick one actually from Oakwood. Now they will feature on Don't Tell the Bride. I don't think the episode's shown already, but two people had a hectic day on Don't Tell the Bride and got married on the top of Megaphobia. So big congratulations to them. Why you'd get married on top of Megaphobia, I don't really know. I think we've seen it on Stealth before as well. So, you know, who are we to argue? Who would argue? They both said they had a fantastic day. It's great news, so well done. Just thought we'd mention it. Now, M&D's. So M&D's 15 months ago, in fact, maybe 16 months ago now, had that horrific accident on the Tsunami roller coaster, which was the inverted pin ferry they had at the park. Now, this roller coaster we've actually been on. We've been on this at the Goose Fair in Nottingham back in 2004, which is quite a few years ago now. And believe it or not, that's the last time we also went to the Goose Fair, sadly, because of the dates it kind of falls on. Now, the ride itself actually was quite entertaining. Given some of the pin ferry shockers we've been on since 2004, wasn't that uncomfortable. So you may remember that the ride itself had an accident back in 2016, and it was very sadly a spectacular accident where the car kind of completely come detached from the track. Now, when we first saw the images, we couldn't believe what we were seeing, and it seemed like maybe the ride had collapsed, one of the supports had collapsed, one of the track pieces had collapsed. You know, something had happened that the ride had fallen off, because it's very, very rare that a whole train would come detached from the rails. However, that is apparently exactly what's happened. The ride itself, as where the wheelbases are, has completely come detached. Whether it's sheared off, whether there's been a problem, whether it's come loose, still not quite sure. But it came off the rails and injured, a few people, to be fair. So reading from the statement, so the health and safety executive is still ongoing. Now, they have put their first report in, and the Crown Office have said that whilst they're continuing, they are considering whether or not to prosecute anyone over the crash. Now, I'll be very surprised if they don't, because it's likely to be a negligent part where this has happened. It'd be very, very surprising. We don't have very many accidents in the UK. We've had a couple of really bad ones in the last 3 years, granted, but we don't have many accidents in the UK, given the amount of miles, given the amount of kind of pressure and stress and everything that these machines are under. We really don't have many accidents in the UK, and not of this magnitude. So 9 passengers, most of them are children, were on board the inverted roller coaster when 5 gondolas, that is the actual length of the train, it is only 5 gondolas long, detached from the rails and fell to the ground. And that was on June 26th last year. So it is ongoing, but just to bring you the latest on that, whilst investigations are ongoing, it looks like prosecutions may well take place over the next sort of coming months. It's taken 15 months to get to this point. It will be really interesting to hear kind of how far they've got with it, and what the outcome is. We wait a long time for the Smiler one. We're still going to be waiting on the Drayton Manor one, so it'll be interesting to see if Splash Canyon reopens again next year, because Smiler obviously opened before the conclusion of it, so we would expect that to happen, whereas Tsunami has been completely dismantled and left the park at the beginning of the season. I have to say, I don't know where it's gone. I wouldn't imagine it was scrapped. I fully imagine it's been refurbished and put back out on the travelling road in a country somewhere. So, as soon as we get the news, we will pass it on to you. Now then, Chessington. 2 things from Chessington. Another publicity stunt. We had the pushchair or the buggy lane down in the Gruffalo, which was never there. Whether or not they stuck stickers on the floor, whether or not they superimposed it, I don't think I'll ever know, because we didn't go. But they also now have put a Brave-O-meter test in to test whether guests are brave enough to go in creepy caves unearthed. Now, this may sound really, really silly to you, but we have a Chessington Halloween vlog going up in the next few days, and you will see the outcome of children going into this maze firsthand. And however publicity stunt this feels, this was definitely not in action at the park, but probably should have been in action at the park. Now, we know it's not necessarily for the park to dictate kind of if parents want to take their children in, what age you should be. However, we have said it in our vlog, and we'll say it now for anyone watching this before they watch the vlog and go to Chessington. Creepy Caves Unearthed is a very scary attraction. It wouldn't feel too out of place at a scare park, to be honest with you. Once you're kind of past the initial bit fluffy story, you're into strobe lights, darkness, hanging bodies, skeletons, scary actors with real good sort of face masks and makeup on, right in your face, breathing in your ear. This is something that is quite intense. I have an 8-year-old son. I will not be taking him through Creepy Caves Unearthed at all. I probably won't be doing it next year either, and the recommended age for this is 10, which would be the year after. This isn't like Curse of the Lost Tomb. We have said this in our vlog. You want to start somewhere and you are going the next couple of days, start with Curse of the Lost Tomb. If they are not remotely scared in that and they really enjoy it, then maybe consider purchasing a ticket. But if they're not sure in that and they come out a bit sort of, not really 100% enjoyed it, please, please, please do not buy a ticket for Creepy Caves Unearthed, because it is not like something Chessington have ever done before. Vampire Haunted in the Hollows, that was quite a scary maze. This is a step up, and we think it's fantastic they've done this, but this Brave-O-meter test, which they are claiming to be doing, which they're not doing because it's a publicity stunt, they should actually be doing. But take heed yourself, your responsibility. If you take your children in there, great, but it is quite scary, so just bear that in mind. Now then, we have some more shots from the Mystic East and its current construction of Tiger Rock. Now then, we did announce last week that Tiger Rock is the name for the new log flume, and this week we can say that Land of the Tigers is the new name for Mystic East. So we have lost Mystic East from the Chessington lineup. One of, if not the only, in fact, originally named area at the park. That hasn't been changed. Mr. Keys has now left the park to be replaced by Land of the Tigers next year. So we're going to be expecting a little bit more of a theme change, maybe than just a drop in enclosures. But as you can see by the footage, there is quite a lot going on at the park. A lot of it has been stripped back. You know, we did an update from the park last week so you could see it, and this is exclusive shots again from the last 48 hours of what's going on at the site. Weather's been horrendous the last few days, so not too much has changed in fairness. I wouldn't want to work through this. However, when we went to Alton Towers, they were continuing to work through the SW8. If you haven't seen the SW8 construction, head back down to our main video page. It is there. It's a kind of a shot we took directly from the park, uploaded it straight to YouTube so you could see. We zoom in, we get some close-ups, we walk around the whole site, over the fence, through the windows, all from places we should be, to give you kind of the latest update on it. Now we know the other path is open between Mutiny Bay and Contanga Canyon, which is the runaway mine train for the very first time. We're giving you slightly different shots, but this one does give you some great close-ups. So if you want to see that, head to the videos on here and you'll be able to see that. Now then, finally comes from Legoland. Now this has gone really kind of under the radar a little bit from Legoland. Now then, from the 13th, which has already passed, to the 30th of October, you can gain free entry to Legoland if you have the first name of any of the main Ninjago ninja characters, which are Lloyd, Kai, Jay, Naya, Zane, or Cole. If you are named one of those, and some of those are quite unusual names, but some of them I'd probably argue actually aren't that unusual name, with proof you can get free entry to the park. That's what they've been advertising. Now they've not advertised it on any of their channels, however all the newspapers have advertised this. So if you want to take advantage of this offer and it's something you feel you can take advantage of, please contact the park first before just arriving on the day to see how the offer is going to work. However, it's been widely reported in the media that if you are named after one of these 6 wonderful Ninjago ninja characters, you can get free entry to Legoland right the way up to the 30th of October. Now, you'll be able to take in a trick or treat, you'll be able to take in just a ride day, or you'll be able to take in the fireworks, which kicked off this weekend and run to next weekend. So, if you're named after that, it's a great offer. It's a great offer. If you're thinking about going to Legoland and you weren't sure, this might tip you over the edge slightly. So, ensure that you do it. Now then, that's all we have for this week. There is quite a lot of news going on at the moment. We appreciate there's quite a lot going on. There's a lot going on with Merlin. There's a lot going on with their share of profits and their profit warnings and kind of rights they got. But we're going to save that for another episode. We are absolutely exhausted. We have been on the road this week, several days. And we've visited 5 or 6 or even 7 completely different scare parks, theme parks, and we've done a lot of filming and a lot of vlogging for your viewing pleasure. So we are hoping you're enjoying these. We are hoping you're looking at our vlogs. I will spit it out, it's quite late at night. We hope you're looking at our vlogs and we hope you subscribe to the channel because there is much more to come over the next few weeks from Halloween. And then we also have plans with very special features going into the closed season, because the closed season, as we said, is nearly upon us. You know, whilst we have some theme parks open, we will switch our attention, perhaps visit some zoos and various other attractions as well. But, you know, let us follow along the way. We'll take you on a journey, we'll take you wherever we're going, and we do hope you're enjoying it. So my name's Adam, this has been UK Theme Parks and this week's Attractions 15 show. We will be back next week. Just before the theme parks close, to be honest. It'll be the last sort of weekend before the theme parks close. We've got a couple more visits to do this week. We're not going to say where because we don't know where, but we're going to have it as a surprise. We're going to do some more Halloween haunts this week without a doubt. So stay tuned with us, stay tuned on our Facebook, stay tuned on YouTube. You'll get to see it first. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next week.